welcome to a new media episode of the SuperGen podcast. As always, I'm Alex, joined by Andy, and special guest this week, Phil.
How's it going?
And as always, shouts out to Wave Shaper for that excellent intro and later outro music.
Yes.
Let's get into some follow-ups. So this is actually 2 episodes ago. We talked about the pending Pokemon Go update, which has since gone live within like the last week and a half, depending on what region you're in. Maybe today. I mean, you know, depending. But it made me re-download it just because I was like, okay, I got to try this out. And there's a lot of improvements. Like, there's a lot of end game content. There's still a lot for people that are at like the base level. And man, Instinct is running our hometown right now, so that helps. You know what I mean? Because it used to be just like Mystic.
Yeah.
So you know that just goes to show you, Team Instinct. That's like the biggest like actual Pokemon fans that have stuck with this game through like its 45 million like honeymoon period to like its 5 million daily user.
Which goes to show you, because I was team whatever the blue one is.
That's Mystic.
Mystic.
And you don't play.
And I don't play anymore. So that's why.
And they have a live event coming up this month, the 22nd, out in Chicago. So
it's a pretty big deal.
I'm thinking about it.
Right.
You're not gonna.
Yeah. It's Chicago.
I'll think about it. But no, I mean it sounds interesting.
What?
So Pokemon Go Fest, 22nd of this month, July. And it's going to, they'll have extra Pokestops. They're going to have faster appear rates for Pokemon, exclusive items, and stuff like that. And then the big thing that, like, is kind of, like, pushing people, I feel like, towards this, and what made me, like, kind of excited about it is raids are, like, a new thing, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. I don't want to go into too much depth, but essentially, it's like a 20-player battle up to against this Pokemon to get a chance to, like, catch it.
Yeah.
And
so it's like what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, and you get like a insanely strong Pokemon out of it.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of incentive, but sometimes you're just like on a run or taking a walk, and like it's like raid starting soon. It's like, oh dang, and then it's like you're not high enough level to compete in this raid. It's like, oh.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, I was level 19 when I got back into it. You have to be level 20.
Yeah.
Is like the minimum.
Nice. Yeah.
Of course. So I'm like, all right, I got to get to level 20 so I can check this out. And it's like, oh, there's no one around me. So it's just me and this like way overpowered Pokemon hanging out. And you got to know, for Pokemon Go Fast, that people are going to be there to actually be able to raid and consistently, have that without being some kind of huge nerd that like makes a Facebook group to like coordinate events to go play Pokemon in the real world, But, to each his own. I think that'd actually be a really cool, like, community engagement thing. Yeah. Because it gets people out and active.
Right.
And
social.
You know what I mean?
So do you know about raids before they happen? Like, can you, does it say, hey, there's going to be a raid tomorrow?
Yeah, there is going to be a raid nearby you, it says, within, like, I want to say an hour of it starting. And there's a little, like, countdown.
I see.
It appears as, like, an egg. And then that egg like hatches at a specific time, and then the raid battle starts.
And this has nothing to do with the gyms. It's just
it's part of the gyms.
Okay.
So when you go to a gym,
and you're fighting like a super OP Pokemon that's in
or
a
Pokestop. It's one of the two.
Okay.
I think gyms. And there's like the gym the way that it was, and then on the top floor of the gym you can now swipe up, and you can get like it's like a Pokestop where you can get items and stuff like that. And then also there's like a raid that could be happening.
Right.
So
cool.
That's
like
interesting.
A big
and what's really cool is that they stayed true to what they were doing in the trailer. I remember the trailer got you hyped. It was just like, everyone was going outside catching Charizard.
That was E3, wasn't it? That they announced it. And it's like, what is this game gonna be?
And then at the end, they just powered up with everyone going into New York City Times Square to catch up Mewtwo. Yeah. And everyone's throwing their fictitious Pokeballs, and it's sweet and it's cool. And it was like that's what got me hyped. I was like, I can catch up Mewtwo. Like what? And then
that didn't happen.
And then the
big
game
event, everyone's got to go to New York to catch Mewtwo, sort of thing. It hasn't happened yet, But hey,
and who knows? We don't know what kind of Pokemon are going to appear. They said like exclusives, so this could be your legendary something going to happen at. This is the first like event that they've coordinated. Obviously, there's communities out there and there's local businesses that have done all this marketing and stuff about that. Since the game was like a huge phenomenon, and you had presidential candidates like making terrible jokes and memes. So this is, it's exciting. This is the next step.
See,
like this could bring it back into the mainstream.
They should have actually put Pokestops at all of the actual voting booths. You know, like all of the.
Get out and vote.
Then people would Pokemon go to the
polls.
Pokemon
go to the polls. Yeah.
Gosh.
Gotta have it. They put them at Starbucks. That's the best we can get. You know what I mean? Like,
only you could
gotta
vote
get that
at
corporate
Starbucks.
sponsorship.
We might have got more than like 45% of people to vote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going there anyway, and I always have to wait in line anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
gotta get my my mango black tea lemonade, and I'll drop in my my vote for president.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that like. I wanted to follow up because we talked about that, and it made me download the app again. And I mean, I haven't played the thing every day. I haven't played it even every week since that's happened 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. I played it a couple of times. But, you know, it got me back excited about the game. There is some legitimately new cool features. They did add Gen 2, and they are continuing to expand on the game. So Nintendo is all over the place, which perfect segue into our next piece. News for this week. So we had a new game launch.
Yeah.
It's not quite a video game. Monopoly Gamer came out in this past week here.
I like that you gravitated toward this probably because of the name, right? Like Monopoly Gamer.
Oh, you know I hate that word. You know, I'm not like you could call it they could call it Monopoly Light. They could have called it, you know, Monopoly Nintendo Edition or whatever, but I guess they've
probably had 7 Monopoly Nintendo editions.
Oh, dude, I used to have Pokemon Monopoly back in the day. There's a Pokemon Gold and Silver Monopoly. There's
like 7 different
Nintendo
Zelda
Monopoly. Yeah. There's all kinds of different.
So many.
Like it's been co-branded because they just like you know are
but
like,
this is
hey, let me license your characters.
This isn't just Monopoly with a bunch of pictures of Nintendo characters on it. This is a redesign of Monopoly, right?
Yes. So they redesigned the game like from the ground up. So there's only one die that you roll. And then there's like a power-up, like separate die, but there's only one 6-sided die of like 1 through 6, you know?
Sure.
And then the board is actually smaller as a result, since you're not rolling 2 dice. It's not like 10 or 12 spaces, whatever it is on a traditional board. Yeah. It's like 6 or 7 in this, so that you're still moving around the board just as fast. It doesn't feel like you can't get anywhere. Right. There's, you know, a limit of what you're going to hit in this area. And then, I mean, like, the utility companies are gone and the railroad stations are gone, and they have like warp pipes and like, you know, mini bosses and power-ups and cards that you can pick up and collect. And then what's kind of unique and makes it like, I guess, more, this is the positive side of the gamer, like, you know, thing.
Yeah.
I think that physically hurt you to say that.
Each character plays differently.
Okay.
So if you're playing Mario, he has a power-up that is unique from Peach or Bowser or any of the other characters in this game.
Okay.
You know, and this was a thing in Pokemon Monopoly. I'll never forget this. It was a special rule for doubles in Pokemon Monopoly only, and it was like if you roll double ones, like Mewtwo's power is activated and you can teleport to any space on the board, or like if you roll like double 5s or something, like Jigglypuff just sang and the next player has to skip their turn or something crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had like these different rules for it, so they brought in stuff like that, something to mix up the game and like, you know, bring a meta. I guess there's different characters that have different play styles.
Yeah.
Like the one that
but
they
this
listed
is different from that, because that's just totally random. Like it's just
that was totally random. Yeah, you're picking the characters.
You're choosing the characters, and the characters have individual abilities, right?
Right.
So,
right. Okay. Yeah. So the one that they listed in the video that I watched that was like an explanation of it. It was Yoshi whenever he gets his special power up that activates by collecting a certain number of coins or whatever criteria happens. Yeah. He picks up all coins that are on the board. And, you know, like, so any coins that people have dropped, because there's like thwomp blocks that, like, when you land on them, they make you drop a bunch of coins or something. Like, so they really mixed up. I mean, this is a new game branded as Monopoly, and your classic, you can go to jail as Mario. You know what I mean? Well, I'd love to picture that image. Mario and Bowser in jail together.
Yeah.
Of completely different crimes. Yeah. And then a go to jail space, free parking, and like, you know, go where you can pass and collect however many coins. And that's where like the good news, I guess, kind of ends.
Right. Okay.
And they just like essentially, in my mind, this is like, oh, this is what a gamer is to you. You gotta appeal to my gamer like aspect.
Here we go.
They have
drum roll, please.
They have what's called pro packs. Okay, so you got to be a pro gamer if you want to play Mario Gamer Edition Pro. Okay, so there are pieces that are just not included with the board. You know, I mentioned that each player has a unique ability that you have to buy separately in a pro pack. There's DLC. Like day one DLC, not just any DLC, but day one DLC.
Like you physically have to buy
figures.
Things like other than like you buy the game, and then you have to buy all this other stuff too.
No, there's figures included in the box.
So this is in the game. This is a mechanic in the game.
A mechanic in the game. Day one DLC.
Okay.
Where you have to buy pro packs.
Yeah.
They're $3 a pop.
Yeah.
But to get additional characters that have new abilities, and they add like cards to the deck, because they're power ups and stuff that it adds in. And then there's the manual includes a sticker sheet where like each character has their own sticker you put in their little spot. Yeah. So it's something for Nintendo. Like they're just like reaching into these Nintendo fanboys' hearts and twisting. So like you have to buy everything.
Let me tell you what they're playing on here. There's a game out. It's been #1 on Board Game Geek for the past like 2 years. Okay. And it's Pandemic Legacy. Okay. So Pandemic, most people who play board games know what Pandemic is. It's a cooperative game where everybody's trying to like cure the world's diseases. There's all these diseases spreading on the board, and like the deck of the cards like tell you where the diseases go, and it's like a really interesting cooperative puzzle. Pandemic Legacy was a game that came out where every time you play the game would physically change. So there would be things that would happen like in the first game, like maybe
that affected other games.
That affected the next game that you played in the game.
Okay, wow.
So you would unlock something, and in the box of the game there were dossiers of stickers that you would have to add to the board permanently. You know, like every time a breakout like an outbreak happens on a city, you put a sticker on that city, and that city's harder to travel to now, you know.
Oh wow, okay.
Or there would be a disease that would specifically mutate, and that disease would become harder to cure forever, you know. And so the game like evolves over time, and you add all these crazy things to the board, and it is still the #1 highest rated game on Board Game Geek since the day it came out, and that was 2 years ago. So they're working on coming out with the second one.
I think this is different, and here's why. But so that adjusts the game.
Everyone is trying to do this though. Like everyone is making legacy games now, and legacy games are these games where you add stickers to things, and they're just trying.
So it's constantly changed. Like it's not just you're not just buying the one like the old style Monopoly. You're not just buying that game. You're buying expansion.
And it's not just that. Like if it's all included in the box, you know, and you add a sticker to the rule book, that's the thing too. In Pandemic Legacy, you added stickers to the rule book that actually changed the rules of the game as you went through, you know. And so everyone's trying to get on this bandwagon because it's the most popular game ever made.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
So it's absolutely insane.
You at least see their influence.
But you can see that's partially the influence here. I think.
I wanna put this in gamer terms. This is day one DLC. I will never forget Mortal Kombat. Yeah. What's the four-armed guy? From Mortal Kombat. I cannot think of his name right now.
I don't remember.
But he is like, you want to play this dude. You see him on the box, or like you see him, and they had within the game, it was the outline of this. Please, someone in the comments, help out my tiny brain that cannot, you know what I mean? When you want to just recall that one thing, I can see him in my mind, but I cannot think of his name.
I don't. Yeah, I remember who you're talking about though.
But and when it came out, it was if you pre-ordered, you got him as a DLC, and if you did not, you like didn't have him, but he was written into the game's code to the point where they showed like the outline of him, and you could go to that on the character select screen, and it's like, sorry, not today, you can't play that. You can just look at that. You can't do it. And say, yeah, you didn't pre-order, or yeah, you didn't buy new, or whatever it was.
So they're trying to
get to me. They're like, oh, I gotta collect them all, and I know exactly what I'm missing because I have the outline of that person sitting there just staring me in the face, like. Give me your $3.
So how does this work in the game? Like the $3 is like Monopoly money you're talking about?
No,
spending?
it's real money that you pay to a retailer.
Yeah, you have to buy
buy a pro pack.
It's almost like Amiibo
that adds functionality to the game.
I see. Okay, so
day one DLC.
Yeah, that's
unreal.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. that's insane. Like,
so you got your day one DLC. Okay. That's what they think of us. They also have a collector's edition.
Yeah. Wow, they're really hitting the nail on the head.
So the game is $24.99. MSRP.
Yeah.
And you can pick it up, and there's 4 characters in the box.
Yeah.
But if you buy the collector's edition, GameStop exclusive, then for $39.99 you get 5 characters, and Bowser is the 5th character that's included to play as, with his special powers and cards and whatever that come with it.
Sweet.
So wait, if you don't get that special the special edition.
He's not in a pro pack that I've seen.
So you still
okay?
So you'll never be able to play as Bowser, and that sticker slot you got to pre-order, kids.
Yeah.
Where you got to support your local scalpers, as we often do on this program.
Oh my
and
god!
shell out what you saw $80 on eBay already.
I already saw $80 before I looked on.
So double the MSRP.
This is very different.
eBay exclusive.
Because like the Pandemic Legacy, they're playing on that a little bit, but the Pandemic Legacy thing is everything is included in the box when you buy Pandemic Legacy, and you just every game you just add like you open up these secret boxes and containers to add components and stickers and things. Like there are actual boxes that are labeled with numbers, and you're not allowed to open them until like a card in the game tells you can.
Oh, that's cool.
It's sweet, and I still haven't even played through the whole thing yet. But it is it's very different from this because this is legitimately just like because there are board games that have expansions.
You know what this reminds me of?
There are tons of expansions for
but not day one expansions.
But not day one expansions.
Well,
no, actually,
it's unheard of in a board game.
Okay.
But this is the gamer edition.
Like the video game.
So gamers are accustomed to paying for day one DLC, and it's like everything that people hate about games. That gamers,
Well, do you remember when Killer Instinct? Remember when Killer Instinct came out for Xbox? It was Xbox One. It came out and you had one character.
Yeah.
All the other characters were DLC, and you had to buy them individually.
But they gave you that. But they gave you that for free.
Yeah.
So it was like a trial. This is like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Minecraft story mode episode 1 is free.
Yeah.
Or Life of Strange episode 1 is free.
Yeah.
You can try out our game, see what you think, play as the character, play against other characters online. We don't care. We're giving all this functionality. The servers are up. Then you can buy.
Then you buy more.
Buy more.
That's totally different.
And the Killer Instinct,
you're right.
they released like the season pass or whatever, and it's every character, and it was $30 or $40.
Yeah.
So that's the actual game price.
And that was the actual game price.
This is the difference between like the bad thing of like people releasing an unfinished game, and then releasing the DLC that actually completes it. Later on, and then making you pay for that.
And I mean, and this is, you can make this argument with any day one DLC. Okay, so this board game, it's a game. You can play it. It exists. Yeah. But like even the rule book mocks you of not having this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you didn't really buy the game.
Yeah, the rulebook thing is definitely a Pandemic Legacy like idea sort of thing, because like that was one of the things that people loved about Pandemic Legacy is you open up the rulebook and like a good portion of the rulebook is just big like dotted line spaces and it's just like letters, and then it's just like this will be filled later.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's going to be. It's going to be interesting though, but
that's in
they're
the box,
doing it the wrong way.
Pandemic.
Yeah, that's all in the box.
It's not like go buy this sticker for $3.
This is just this is so misguided because this is like, and the thing is too, this is funny, is that this is one of the highest things on the hotness list on Board Game Geek right now is this game. This. Oh,
everybody's talking about it. I mean, it's a big deal because it's you know what, we're in the golden age, I would say, of board games. Within the last 5 years, we have entered that and have not yet exited the golden age of board games. And games are getting more complex and interesting. And I mean, there's so much criticism that's out there that's trying to make stuff better, more fair, less luck, less chance. You know what I mean?
I think what's more crazy about this though is that, I mean, Andy, I've seen your game collection's immaculate. Yeah. You have all these games I've never even heard of. And what Alex is saying, the golden era of past 5 years, it's not like 100 years ago when it was just Monopoly. But the thing that's crazy about all this is like, it's Monopoly now. It's modern Monopoly. This is what our generation has changed about all of it. This is the new Monopoly. This is what everyone wants.
And what they think of our generation is so. First of all, they're hey, reach for your wallet, kids, before you even take home this game. And then second of all, I mean, it's just like simplified to the point of, so there's no like money in the game where like you can't there's no banker counting out bills. There's just coins. That's the only currency, and it's just. Hey kids, we know you don't like to read the rules or pay attention. We're gonna it seems like an oversimplification. I hope that it is a return to like the roots of and an emerging out the other side like a more fun game. Because I mean, you've been critical of Monopoly. And obviously,
Monopoly
anyone who is a board game fan has a little tinge in the back of their head thinking, if I say I want to play board games, they're gonna think Monopoly. What do you mean Monopoly? Because that's all that people know.
That's the thing. Like people like, and
it's not a great game.
Monopoly is not a terrible game. It's really not. It's just not. There are just so many better games out now that do what Monopoly tried to do, and they do it so much better and so much faster. Like Monopoly can last hours, you know,
so long.
or it could be over in 30 minutes. You have no idea, you know. It's like one of those games where, like, first of all, it's a roll and move game where you're just rolling dice and you just move however many spaces, and especially when you have 2 dice, you go anywhere between 2 spaces and 12 spaces, right? You know, like think about like Clue, for example. Clue is a great example of a bad roll and move mechanic, because you're trying to get from here to there, and someone else is trying to get from here to there, right? And I might roll 2 and you might roll 12. You know,
right. So you're at a disadvantage.
I might spend 5 turns trying to get somewhere, and someone else might get there in 1. You know, it's just a huge disadvantage based on a huge amount of randomness. Yeah. And you either solve that by either like creating a different mechanic for movement, or adding lots more dice. Because if you add a lot more dice, it actually lowers the chances of, like, it lowers the I don't know, what would you call it? Like the range of possibilities.
Yeah.
You know? So like, say you're rolling 6 dice, it's not a difference of like,
because each die is equally as likely to roll, you know, each number between 1 and 6. Exactly. So since you're throwing more at it, it's like if you flip a coin 1,000 times, it'll be closer to 50% than if you flip it twice.
Exactly. You know? And that mitigates the luck hugely, you know, when you're rolling lots of dice, because it's a lot more likely that those numbers will add up to be the average of what it should be. You know?
Yeah, but then it looks complicated. What, I gotta roll like 6 dice?
Yeah. So
what kind of game is this?
The other solution that a lot of people do is they create custom dice that don't go from 1 to 6. They go from maybe 3 to 6, and then you just roll a bunch of those dice, and then like maybe 2 of those dice, and then your options are between, like, say you roll 2 of them, your options are between 6 and 12 now. You know, instead of 2 and 12. You know, so there's still some randomness in there, but most people are just getting rid of that randomness completely. That's what people really want.
They want it to be more skill,
you know.
Exactly. And I mean, but accessible to the point that you can sit down and play, and a beginner has a chance. Yes. They're not like, well, I guess I lose. You know, like a Carcassonne or like something like that, where it's just like, whoa. I mean, you got me, man. You know,
that's a really good point too. Is that in a lot of games, like, they're making it to the. There are some games that are designed so tightly that if you have a lot of experience in the game, you'll just win every time because you're just better at the game. And there are other games that have just a little bit of randomness in there, so that even if you just started the game, as long as you know the game well, you could win. You could possibly win, you know? And that's, you know, it's a matter of taste, you know? But
I don't know. I honestly, just like these guys on Board Game Geek, it's #1 trending. Everybody's talking about it, commenting, what is this? What's that? It's doubling price on eBay, all this stuff. It's like, I almost want to buy it just to. I don't want to affirm my beliefs. I want to be wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it seems like they're like, oh, those guys don't have attention span. Like, if we put 2 dice in the box, then we'd have to put a fidget spinner in there so they pay attention long enough to play. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
I don't know. It just
like, it seems like a bunch of people sitting in a boardroom like, yeah, these guys, I mean, they have no attention span, and it's all about now. And I don't want to learn anything, and I don't want to count out, and I don't want to, you know, do all this stuff. So let's just simplify it and make them pay money and make them feel good about spending money on the game. Spend money to win.
Yeah, I haven't had much faith in Hasbro lately, you know, when it comes to their production of games, because they still produce like board games in these super flimsy thin boxes that are really easy to fall apart, and then this one
is a really nice box. I watched an unboxing video, and it's really well put together from a collector's standpoint. The collector's edition
should be nice, of course.
Next on my list here, Doomfist confirmed is the title, the clickbait headline that I came up with.
Confirmed again.
Again. So, I mean, we've seen him in Numbani for like the longest time in these posters and stuff like that. We know that we're transporting this gauntlet. But on the Overwatch official blog earlier this week, we saw, like, they posted, and I mean, essentially, they used the word Doomfist in it. Yep. They said that this guy is broken out of prison. Good luck pronouncing his name. Yeah. I'm not not good in South African dialect here.
Here's the thing that's very interesting to me is inside of Numbani, in the second spawn room of like the defense, like when you've already taken the first point, and then you have to go from there. They have those 3 posters of the Doomfist people. They've got like the original, and then the successor, and like the new guy. And the new guy's like all.
I think it's the original, the Scourge, like the Savior, the Scourge, the
Savior, the Scourge, the successor.
That's what it is.
Yep. So the successor is all blacked out, and his name is written in Omnic at the bottom. You know? So I'm wondering if Blizzard, like, legit, because they've had that poster up since the beginning of at least the official, like, release of the game. Like, I'm wondering if the name that they released can actually be translated into.
Oh, it's like a script.
So we could use we could use that name if they've kept it consistent. We could use that name to translate the Omnic language, you know? And
at least that many letters of it. You know what I mean?
But that's a huge, because there's a lot of it. It's a long name.
It's a long name, yeah.
You know? Like, I feel like they should.
And they are all different letters, I think. There's none repeated.
Yeah. It's the whole language right there.
There's 2 E's. You know? One in the first and one in the last name.
And so between
and it has the same last name, assuming it's like other countries and that the surname is first. Yeah. It's the same surname as the Scourge. So
maybe,
presumably his son, daughter, robot clone. We don't know. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. Right.
But I mean, we could have implied long before now that the name Doomfist is sort of like a lineage or something like of a title more than like a person.
Yes.
Itself.
For sure. Because we know of 3 people who have held that title.
Right. You know? Yeah, at least 3. That we know of, and I believe we know that Winston killed one of them.
Really?
Through something that fans dug up or something else.
Yeah. Okay.
But we just don't know if it's Terry Crews yet.
That's the important part. That's the important part.
And we also don't know when. So Arisa timing, was it a week? Was it 1 week? From when they put the blog post up to we saw Arisa?
It was about that was when they announced her and put her up on the PTR, you know. So that was super quick. Just like Anna when they did the first like little teaser with her on Twitter and then like put up the biotic rifle and stuff. And then they released her like a week later, you know, on the PTR so people could play her.
So we can allude that we will have Doomfist within the week. Possibly. Who's gonna leak it?
Here's the thing. That's the question. They've also
who's gonna seep that juicy news?
They've also teased another character though with the release of Moonbase. Like it was they teased what's his name like the new monkey.
the actual who now?
The second monkey character. Like that they were.
No, it's Dr. Winston from like what he is named.
Yes.
Like he's a human dude.
No, there's another monkey that escaped from Moonbase Horizon, from the Horizon.
Yeah,
Moonbase.
from Horizon Lunar Colony.
Not just Winston. There was another monkey that escaped. It's like all over the map, and they announced it. Like they had this whole thing before the map came out, and I forget his name, but I think it was. Because it's not Winston, it's another character. But there's even like pictures of him in the spawn room of this other monkey that's not Winston. And they were talking about like there was this leak that came out. The same guy that leaked Arisa and like the whole name of her being like an anchor tank and that whole thing released this information about like the May short that they haven't released yet. And then also information about this new monkey character who is supposed to be able to place barriers by placing an object on the floor and then moving to another area and placing another object somewhere else, and then they connect. And then the only way that the barrier goes down is if someone destroys those
more
connectors.
Barriers.
Yeah. So so that's another one that they're talking about, and a super mobile like jetpack monkey character. You know, that's very small and hard to hit.
Is it Diddy Kong?
What?
Could be Diddy Kong
from Super Smash Brothers.
It's Diddy Kong.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
does he have a peanut gun as well?
Yeah,
he might.
Nintendo, it seems like is open to co-brand between Pokemon Go, Monopoly, all these GameStop partnerships.
Right. Like Hammond is his name.
Hammond.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. So that's another one that they teased him before they
started 100% fits with what we've seen, because Doomfist has been teased long before we got our blog post.
Yeah.
Long before we got this, okay, this guy's coming now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sombra with the sky code and stuff like that.
That was it
was an afterthought, I think. The sky code is not actually supposed to lead to Sombra, but they did as like a thing to the fans, a tribute to the fans.
Because we thought that it was something. Like it was man, that was quite a thing. I forgot what I was gonna. But they actually did a video recently with Jeff and Jeff, like Jeff
Kaplan.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan and Jeff whatever the other guy that does the game design.
Other Jeff.
Other Jeff. That's spelled weird. Where they were answering questions about Overwatch on a video in like a PowerPoint presentation. It was hilarious. And one of the things that they brought up was like, when are we getting Doomfist? Was the question.
Yeah.
And his answer was like, I don't know, but like he's like he said that he's like, Doomfist, he sounds like he'd probably be a ranged hero, right? And he does damage at range and he uses magic. You know, like that's for sure. That's confirmed. Doomfist ranged hero uses magic.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds perfect.
It's great.
Is he trolling or is he serious?
No, I'm sure he's just kidding. But
Next
it's like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna reveal that information right now. And then the next question was,
he uses his magical gauntlet.
Yeah, his magical gauntlet is just throw it across the room.
Or like, what's the? Yeah. I mean, this is in so many different things, but like just rocket arm launching off somebody in a straight line. Yeah. That's like it's like a boomerang. He has one shot, just goes out and then flies back.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's so if anything, they did like confirm that Doomfist is a hero though. You know, they did confirm that in the video that he is a hero. They just didn't confirm when he will be released. But we are at that time, you know.
Here we are. It's been 3 months.
It's been 3 months. They've been releasing heroes every 3 months, like on like clockwork. Every 3 months, it's like
that's great though.
You know, so it's coming up. Like I don't know if it's gonna be Doomfist or it's gonna be somebody else, but we gotta have a hero soon.
But it's gonna be.
It's gonna be. Yeah.
And yeah, I completely. It's got to be Doomfist with this blog post, unless they are just trolling us to a whole new level, trying to throw off their fan base.
Yeah.
And I think that that's perfect for them to already time, like, oop, here's a little taste of what the next hero might be. You know, Hammond or whatever it's going to actually be.
Whoever. Could be someone else.
It could be someone we haven't even heard of. And Hammond is way down the line. It's a year from now. Like,
but this is like this sort of like press release that they've been doing is so like on brand with their release of heroes too. You know, like they've been doing that with every single hero they've been releasing. They released like the Orisa like press release thing talking about Ify and that whole thing right before they release her, you know, and then they did the same thing with Anna, and it's like, and then they also joked in that video that like he's like, we're gonna release Doomfist after a 3-year like online hunt, just like Sombra.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just
we have to wait for people to figure out decipher the car code. The cars that fly by in the Oasis level. If you count out the period of time in between, there's a Morse code message that then deciphers into.
Yeah, if you take all of the broken pieces from the payload in Numbani and then rearrange them in a different way, then it'll create a piece of music that you have to, you know.
I heard if you go out into that traffic.
Oh, now we're getting into No Man's Sky territory.
I heard if you go out into that traffic enough, you get hit into another level.
Yeah.
And then there's another secret room.
Yeah, the second point of Ilios. It's like you just get hit straight into there like Roadhog's hook.
Yep.
You know.
That's it.
Oh gosh. So next on my list, this is like a bunch of not necessarily smaller stories, but some slightly off brand for what we usually talk about with us. But this is something we've covered like in a great deal, like on the podcast in the past.
No Man's Sky.
Streaming media.
Okay.
And just like essentially like the future of consumption. Like we are in the past week, there has been headline after headline after headline that is just like the cement that is like, you know, we saw AMC Premiere we talked about briefly last week, you know, like another big, you know, TV publisher falling and doing their own, you know, streaming media service. And just how everything is sort of going towards streaming media. So I did want to talk about, this will be our SuperGens 4 big headlines that cement streaming media in our future.
All right.
This is really the fall of the old guys, or I guess like a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
So earlier this week, Facebook announced their stars for their original series. So we've known that Facebook like wanted to get into the media game. They launched Facebook Live and had like a lot of push for that. I mean, like Super Bowl ads.
Facebook is getting into the original series business.
Well, we knew that they were going to do media content at least because they have that, and then they picked up, I mean, an ex-MTV exec, I think, like late last year, and they picked up what the co-founder of College Humor.
Really?
Like, got him. So they have like big names like tied to their company, and we knew that was going to be media. In some big way. And then they also, like, part of that branding, they changed their mission statement, I think 2 weeks ago now, or a week ago, to be, like, less focused on, like, categorizing people and, you know, organizing that and connecting people, and more about connecting groups and creating communities, like, for people to thrive. And, like, I feel like, content is a big thing that people discuss on there, and linking to other sites, and they want to
it's just constant sharing.
Yeah, they want to take a chunk of that and share our stuff. You know what I mean? This is first party sharing, baby.
Right.
Because what does Facebook really put out now that you're sharing? You know what I mean? Like, what news does Facebook publish, or what?
I mean, if you ever go to that Discover tab, it's pretty cool. You ever go to the search bar and just
so that's curated. That's curated content, but not created content, not original content.
Yep.
This was actually really interesting because I talked to a general manager of a Best Buy store once about this, about Facebook, and this was when they went public. When they went public and people could start buying shares in Facebook as a company. And his big thing that he was confused about, he was trying to think of what does Facebook sell as a product? What makes them money? What
personal
is the thing
information?
That actually money. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They sell us. We are the product.
We are the product, right?
So their whole business model is based on collecting tons of people and putting them in finding these groups and finding
and
the
sorting
things that
them,
people are interested in, and then selling that information to third parties so that they can advertise to you.
Yep.
And so their whole kind of business model is still pointing towards that, and they even say that with their new
mission statement. Yeah.
And
I mean it's on both sides.
Yeah.
So from an investor standpoint and from a business standpoint, yes. Sorting people into these little boxes, that you can sell content to.
Yep.
100%. I mean, that is sustainable, and that's the future of advertising, because I don't want to watch ads about tampons. Exactly. I don't want to watch ads about Life Alert. You know what I mean?
This is
unless I'm telling someone I know about it.
People are so up in arms about this whole thing because they think they're oh, I don't want to be targeted, but I would rather be targeted. I would rather be specifically targeted and sold things that I'm actually interested in than just see a bunch of ads for garbage that's just wasting my time. Because it's the difference between half of my time spent online being wasted and half of my time being spent online being sold something I actually care about. You don't have to buy things. You exercise your own.
Right. Yeah, you have a right not to buy, not to
you don't
click
have
it,
to
not
buy anything.
to do anything.
But
about
I
want
to know about this stuff. You know,
Right.
I want to know about things that I might be interested in. If they're good at finding that stuff, great.
So this is
the website.
This is they're creating communities of their own. Them creating content of their own. That's hey, we got money. We're willing to pay. I think somewhere in the ballpark, the article that I read, and I do not know what their source was for this. I think it was on Engadget.
Okay.
Was $3 million for
Sure.
a budget for actors or for a series or something like that. So they've got the money obviously in hand, in pocket,
Sure.
to spend on this stuff. Why are they not creating their own content before this point?
Yeah.
I think that mission statement, that change in focus of their company, and then they're still the same old Facebook. And for the services they provide, I'm willing to trade some of that personal information,
of course,
so that I can get better advertisements, and so I can communicate with anyone, anytime. I mean, how today you were having issues with your phone, and it's I can communicate through Facebook Messenger, no question.
And you can call.
I use it for everything. It's very convenient, but it's also it's really resource intensive on people's phones. But that's probably because it's gathering tons of data in the background, trying to find stuff. But it doesn't bother me.
So our two stars, our shining stars of the series to be announced, at least two that these are supposed to launch this year. So we have Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, if you remember it. Yeah.
All he's been doing lately is Ford narrating commercials. Or Ford commercials. Where did he go? He had that crazy show that went. Right. Everyone knew who Mike Rowe was when that show was on. Early 2000s.
And it's showcasing, and this new show, it's garnering that. Okay. Yeah. Because it's showcasing not just these jobs that people don't think about that get done, and bringing this education to society, oh my God, wow, this thing that I got, this is how it gets here, or this service that someone provides I didn't even know existed, and it makes my life better in some way. It's called Returning the Favor. Okay. And it's showcasing, I think their blurb was showcasing community superstars and things like that. So trying to showcase things, community on brand. How people are changing the world and changing their communities for the better.
Interesting. Okay.
Excellent.
On brand for Mike Rowe in a big way, and for Facebook too.
Yeah.
And it's reality TV in a
big.
big way.
Yeah.
And then the other series, Phil, you might have to help me out here. LeVar Ball. What I was able to pull up about this guy is his son is a basketball player.
His son
who has expensive shoes. And his
very expensive shoes.
And his 2 other sons are also basketball players, but like in high school. And UCLA is already like recruiting them, which I think is a big basketball.
So LeVar Ball had a son, and he was a crazy college athlete in the he just played for UCLA. Got drafted number 2 because there's a lot of people didn't think there's just a lot of hype about him. I mean, he's got his dad who's overhyping him with his big baller brand.
Yeah, ball is life, dude. LeVar Ball.
And just, a lot of people are hating on him because he's just very popular, and his dad's kind of an asshole. But I think what's really cool, I mean, we'll see. Do you know what this show is about? What is?
It did not go into detail, the article that I read. I'm sure it was very slanted. And I looked like they just did not cite their sources very well in the article that I picked up on this thing, and tried to dig on my own and was like researching this guy, but I did not see.
Well, this is the biggest time. This is the biggest time for him because his son just got drafted. So whenever they're filming, whatever they're filming is a good time right now because he said that his son would be the greatest basketball player in NBA history.
So is this going to be Keeping Up with the Kardashians for dudes? You know what I mean? Mainstream. For women, you've got like this model, like family.
That's what ESPN 30 for 30
drama.
Does. That's what the ESPN 30 for 30 does.
Yeah. And for dudes, it's like sports.
This is you know what? Osbournes.
Yeah, and you know what?
For music, now we've got sports.
And this is going to be
that next big one?
I think it might be.
Is he that kind of personality?
Yes, he's a big, bold personality.
I don't like this direction towards like reality television. Because what I love about
reality TV is everything right now.
And I mean, hate it.
And you've got your streaming services are really the only ones picking up the slack as far as real narrative.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like the reason why Netflix is being so successful with their streaming video, like their TV shows that they're creating, is because they're creating like amazing narrative stories. Like really well produced, like film produced, like actual like narrative stories, like House of Cards and Stranger
Handmaid's
Things
Tale
and
Hulu. That's a big one because that's a book.
There's really amazing, really.
I'm trying to think of a reality that was exclusive to streaming service. I think The Only Way Is Essex had an exclusive deal with Hulu, like in the United States. I think that was a show outside of the U.S. before.
That's fine with me because I don't care about it. I don't want.
You have the choice to watch it. Yeah,
I don't have cable because I don't care about reality TV. Yeah. Reality TV is a cable thing, and if they're bringing that over to streaming, that's great. People who like that can watch it. That's fantastic. But if that's what Facebook streaming is going to be, I'm not going to be interested.
I mean, reality TV's been on streaming services. We just haven't
Hulu has
that I'm thinking of.
Keeping Up with Kardashians, Hulu has that.
They haven't had an original.
Yeah,
I
can watch those shows on Netflix, like the curated and like.
Oh my gosh, Project Runway is like huge on Netflix, and like what is it, Chef? Iron Chef,
yep.
All these other different cooking shows,
Kitchen
and stuff
Nightmares,
like that.
and shows like that, and that's I think
Cake
one of the
Boss,
big things.
It's all there.
But the thing is, like, if they do it in the Netflix fashion, where like they release a season at a time, like they're literally just like House of Cards, like okay, the entire season of House of Cards is available right now for you to watch. Like they've been doing that for all of these shows, like Stranger Things and everything. It's just like instant seasons.
The latest
instant seasons. Reality TV, I just don't see that working as well. Like if they stick with weekly shows that they release once at a time, it gets people like addicted, and they're like, next week I gotta watch this, next week I gotta watch this.
Well, in reality TV, the hook is different. I feel like so when it's on cable or it's just on somewhere. So almost every time I've watched a reality TV show, it has been because a roommate or a friend had it on.
Yeah.
And I saw something and I was like, I'm hooked. You know what I mean? Like I just started watching it because of that. But it's never been a trigger for me that's like, oh, I gotta watch the latest episode of Cake Boss today.
But it hasn't been for me either. But I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about my mom.
Okay.
Like my mom, she'll be like, "Oh, it's Thursday, 8 p.m.
That's how my parents are.
I'm gonna watch this show right now. Like I gotta make sure that I'm home at this time."
But that's what I'm saying. So it exists in that world where I gotta watch it at 8. But in that world where there isn't this thread that ties it together, this narrative that's happening over a period of time.
Right.
What's that, I gotta watch this specific thing because the new episode is out.
And it's funny.
Because I could watch it anytime. I could watch it later, so then it gets pushed under the rug and shifted.
And a lot of these shows,
whereas that's the hook.
For example, like Dirty Jobs, for example, is the kind of show that you could just watch any episode. You don't have to. You don't have to.
It's not a continuation.
From the beginning. It's not a continuation. So you would think that a show like that would benefit from just binge watching it. You can just watch a bunch of it. But the reason I think that people binge watch like narrative shows is because of that reason, because
that's what I'm saying.
And you're right. So like if they release it on a weekly basis and people just watch episodes or whatever, or they just release them all at once, people don't have that reason to continue to binge it. They're just like, oh, I'll watch another episode. You can just catch it whenever the hell, and it's just fine at that point. So yeah, I don't know which strategy would be.
And we don't really know what their market, like who they're marketing towards in these either yet. Like
and for me, when I think about Facebook,
probably the best place to put it.
So Netflix,
Honestly,
and Hulu, they very much built themselves as these. They're putting out these artistic and these over the top like narrative stories.
Yeah.
Very our generation shows now too.
Yeah,
these like controversial shows.
And so they're kind of like past that point where it's like if it was like Netflix original series, Toddlers and Tiaras 2.
Yeah, nobody would watch that on Netflix. But people would watch that on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
I
so I think it's perfect for that. It's perfect for that building a community, like these people that watch this show, and it's like, oh, did you see the latest? Jersey Shore? Can you believe what happened? Because that has a narrative.
Yeah.
Things like this.
That's true. Shows like that do
have a narrative.
Are they gonna make us pay for it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
The question is, how will they make us pay for it?
Yes,
so will advertising pay for it in a way, or is Facebook announces Facebook Gold service is going to launch. Delete your account. $99. They will now charge you $9.99 a month. Is that like wall of text spam finally true? Yeah. Are we going to pay $10 a month for Facebook Red?
It'd be Facebook Blue. Let's get it right.
Yeah. And I think it will be something like that. I think it must
be
Facebook
like Pro.
It must be something
X.
like YouTube Red, where it's like you can use YouTube without YouTube Red. You'll just see ads everywhere.
It's just also terrible.
But if you pay the money for it, you just get no ads and you can just see whatever you want. But Facebook hasn't really made and they have. But they haven't really made their business model on directly showing you ads on their website.
Oh, yes, they have.
Not really,
because I can say, Facebook, here's $12. Insert this post into people's timelines when they scroll through it.
Yeah.
How is that not? Exactly what you just said. Taking money to put advertising in someone's face.
Yeah.
It doesn't say pre-roll ad 30 seconds to get to the content that you watch, but it's an ad. You're watching an ad.
Yeah.
Right.
For a service or for a product or for a channel or whatever.
It's unbelievable that now I have YouTube Red. I got it with my Google Play, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And to think that like years ago, I'd just watch an ad and be like, oh my God, I can't just believe I'm watching this ad. Now I have the opportunity to not watch an ad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it. And it's excellent.
Even just like the
but that crumbles the rest of their business. If I'm a Facebook Pro subscriber,
and here's the thing,
then any targeted advertisements that people paid money to show up on my timeline don't show up anymore.
That's true.
No sponsored posts.
That's
the
big difference between
and it hurts
Facebook.
my timeline too.
Yeah, that's
because I don't want to just listen to drivel from people I graduated high school with and some unique posts and a bunch of memes.
Yeah.
I sometimes like those sponsored posts because they're targeted to me, and it's stuff like that I want to click on sometimes, or stuff I'm interested to know about at the very least.
Right. And that's the original idea with like ads on YouTube as well. I mean, you see ads on YouTube because they think you're interested in those things. I mean, Google has been like curating your information in the same way that Facebook has been doing it. And the difference is it's just Google versus Facebook. Facebook's probably gotten more personal.
Facebook is better. I think Facebook is better because it's instant and I can scroll past it if I don't want to.
Right.
Whereas YouTube, a pre-roll ad makes you sit there until you can skip ad, or makes you sit there until that. And a lot of times,
sometimes
it's really obvious that there's not local advertisers on YouTube. There's only big. So you could sit there and watch the same Corona ad 35 times if you watch 35 videos.
Yep.
Every single video, you would watch that Corona ad, or you'd watch that Hyundai ad, or whatever it is. That is less targeted, less local oriented, and more aggressive in that watch this, then you can have what you want. But I can't tell you, well, scroll if you want.
Yeah, maybe but I can't tell you how many times I've seen the same exact like purple mattress ad for on Facebook like in the past week, like over and over and over and over again, not posted by people, but just thrown into my feed.
Absolutely.
Know? So the same thing happens.
Were you looking at
purple
mattresses?
But I can scroll past it. It's subliminally, it's there. It has the same impact, maybe, but to me, the consumer.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Twitter now.
Yeah, Twitter.
I mean, Twitter used to be great. I still like Twitter.
And it's just the downfall of the video as a medium.
Yeah.
And Facebook has gotten around that by the autoplay.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, autoplay happens, and only the audio is something you have to actively participate in to watch the audio on a video. And so people just put subtitles for the first few minutes and see if they hook you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering how much.
If autoplay didn't exist, that would drastically change their sponsored content.
I am really wondering exactly how Facebook will handle this, because you know if they do something similar to YouTube Red where you can pay to remove the ads, I'm wondering if it will remove the ads for the whole website or if it's just going to remove the ads.
I don't think they could. I think that would tear their business model apart.
I don't think so.
Also, I want to talk about speculate for a minute.
Like if you're paying,
and these are smarter guys than me, they can find a way around it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's the thing: if you're paying like $10 a month, I feel like you are paying them more than they're making from those ads just from you looking at it.
From one person.
From one person.
Arguably, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why when you pay $10 a month for Google Play Music, they give you YouTube Red. I mean, all of the ads that you were watching were probably so much less than that $10 that you're paying. You're getting both Google Play Music and YouTube Red for the same price.
I think that's crazy. I don't really even.
Well, when you have 5.4 billion or something insane number active daily users or monthly users,
and Facebook doesn't. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. They have it. Yeah.
You know, so if they pay they pay $10 a month, they could get rid of all the ads on the website and they'd make all the
that would change. You know? That would change a lot. That'd be like if you like.
I want to speculate for a second, and I want to move on to the next point because we've been on this one for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
So Facebook, what will they call their streaming service?
Facebook Live Blue.
Okay.
Facebook Blue. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it probably
will it? I guess let's narrow it down even further. Will it include the word Facebook? Yes or no?
Yes.
They almost have to. I feel like, because when say a grandma is on Facebook, she's not gonna be like, you're gonna be like, oh, grandma, are you still on Facebook? Are you on that new? Yeah. And she's gonna be like, what's Facebook that?
Yeah, like I think it has to be
Facebook
connected directly.
Is
in that
the
way.
word?
I think 100% yes, because they have such a strong brand. And you look at other companies that, like Netflix, when they tried to rebrand like their DVDs as Quickster or Silver or whatever else.
When MySpace tried to rebrand, they tried to. They used their same name,
MySpace
just,
music. Well, no. It wasn't different. It still had the word MySpace in it.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you have like a really powerful like brand like that, I feel like you have to attach that to it.
You have to. That is
to
key.
give you that and to reinforce this is one thing that you get for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that we curate content over here and we are social media and a network to build a community over here. We are one service that you get by being a Facebook user.
Facebook is just so powerful. When someone just mentions, FB or like, it's just, know what it is, you know what they're talking about. Yeah. Everyone, like you said, they have billions of users. We only have 7 billion people on this planet, and they have literally billions. Like I think you said how many?
No, that's got to be.
No, I'm sure there's.
We gotta check the stats.
It's got to be a high.
It's got to be 3 or 4 billion.
It's got to be a high number of millions.
It's got
there's
got to be almost 2 billion people on Facebook,
and it's falling out of, in some people's minds, popularity. Founded in 2004 to build a community, 1.28 billion daily active users as of March 2017.
That is 1/7
billion.
And then I see 1.9 billion, I'm assuming monthly active.
So that is 2/7 of our entire world population logging on to Facebook
that is
per month.
Per day.
Per day, yeah.
Per day, it's
per day.
Like, let's call it 1 billion. And that's 200 million people we're ignoring.
Yeah, and that is 1/7 of the entire population on this planet.
That's amazing. That is really ridiculous.
And that's why they have servers, they have servers all over the world. Wow. They have to. And it's just, that is such a big, they just need to stay Facebook with, and they're going to add something to it, but
I think the highest current subscriber count on anyone on YouTube is 50 or 60 million.
I want to say because PewDiePie had the record, didn't he?
I think he still does.
Googling that. So PewDiePie. Oh, just go to his channel. Let's see how many subscribers he's got. We know he's number 1. So it was like Lady Gaga was like the number 1 like on Twitter, number of followers or something like that. Like,
and then like what's her name? One of the Kardashians has one of the most.
56 million is where he's at. So.
And that's not even close to 200 million.
That's not. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So Facebook,
like, that's one person though. Yeah, that's one channel. Whereas Facebook, how many active users are they going to have for this content?
And I'm wondering how many active users there are on YouTube in general.
And you got to think Facebook was just going to be for college, like just the college networking.
It was. And now when it first started, people were like, you have to be in a college, and you have to choose what college that you're in, and
and now it's just
and you can't add anyone that you
don't know. What a perfect segue that you've just handed me, Andy. Thank you so much. Yeah. So my next major streaming story that is cementing its future. Jay-Z's new album hit platinum status in under a week.
Yeah,
and the segue that you have given me is very exclusive. So you have to subscribe to Tidal streaming service in order to listen to this.
Yeah.
So in order to get him closer to that like platinum goal.
Yeah.
And Andy can't even get platinum in Overwatch. And he's been playing nonstop.
Got him.
And it's been a year since that game came out. Jeez.
Man,
and so he hit platinum in under a week. And what I saw some report that you had to have like Sprint for like the first week or something like that in order to.
He probably released it to Sprint early.
Yeah, it was released to Sprint early, or
like HBO
you had to have like, if you were already a Tidal subscriber before like it released, then you could listen to it. But if you subscribed like after it came out, then you had to be a Sprint user to listen to it, or something crazy like that.
It's exclusive to Sprint.
Super exclusive club.
Super.
And still hit platinum. Sold 1 million records. Virtual records. Since streaming now counts as of last year, 2016. I think Kanye and like Chance the Rapper also did it as far as like.
So I'm wondering exactly how they count that. Like, is this just like one person has streamed your record, and that means
like
that
in its entirety, or they probably listen to playtime.
I think they have to do playtime.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I could listen to the same album like 7 times. Does it count as 7 like purchases of that?
I think it depends. I think you're right. I think it's depending on the time. So like, say someone
it could be listen time or unique. In any case, they have a rigorous system for this.
Yeah.
And even if you're 7 of them, that's 1 million, baby. Okay. So this is. I mean, it's the future of the music industry, really. Yeah, I think Lil Wayne said it best. A million.
No, I mean,
that was Chris.
We're not gonna sing a milli.
I'm not even gonna say. I wouldn't even say that like streaming services are the future of music. I say streaming services is the present of music.
Yeah.
Like I
agree.
Like buying albums is like physical albums. Some people still do it, but most people don't. Most people are either streaming or they're downloading.
Well, it's reached that board game. We talked about this earlier. Yeah. When I buy that physical media, I want to feel like I've bought something that I can put on a shelf, and people will be like, "Wow, oh, you got 444 on vinyl."
Exactly. And that's what I was just getting you.
Wow, look at that. What I mean?
And that's the thing, and that's a big thing too. Like the streaming is big, but what's crazy now? It's brought back is vinyl. You see all the. I mean, this has not been a new thing, but a lot of rap albums like Childish Gambino. Every time he came out with a CD, and obviously the streams are really high, but he always had the vinyl, and
also
and it's real, and the artwork and stuff inside it pops. It's cool. You fold it out into 4 different things.
That's
There's
the thing.
Colors.
That's what you've got to do now.
And
like,
and
you've got to create.
Oh, and it's always been that way because you're trying to sell it off the shelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're creating.
So I mean,
really
you've
nice
had people, famous designers and artists that have been designing, record sleeves and covers, and album covers for. Since the beginning of the industry, pretty much.
But like you said, streams, I think you're right, are the future. It just depends on, I guess, how many people are going to be subscribing to these services to stream on, because people don't want to shell out money, but then they have to see that they're not going to be, we're not restricted to a time you have to go out and buy a CD just to hear it.
Yeah. Or you don't have to pay iTunes or pay, what I mean, Amazon,
specifically
or play,
just to listen
to that particular song. You have access to all this content.
But the thing we're talking about is Tidal is exclusive to just that album.
The album is exclusive to Titan.
Or sorry, whatever, vice versa.
Yeah, and
but
that's not going to be.
Well, I want to clarify here first. Music has succumbed to this process. I want to say long before your other guys, because you had your Pandoras and Spotify's and Google Play Music and Apple Music and Amazon and all these things ruling the industry and being a major revenue stream in a big way for longer than we have seen for your Netflix original series and for your other streaming content that's starting to come in. And then, your YouTube and your Twitch services, they've completely revamped their stuff within the last year here. Yeah. Even
that new Mixer.
Yeah, Mixer from Xbox.
Yeah.
That's a big platform. It's gonna be big.
Who knows? It's pretty cool.
Co-streaming is a cool
it is cool.
We'll be on there.
When we watched it, when I watched it the other day, when I was watching two people play Friday the 13th game, it was really cool because
it just made sense.
It made sense because that one guy, there was a guy and a girl. The girl is playing one of the characters. She's running from this guy, and this other guy is streaming as Jason. So he's like, I think I know where you are. And she's like, no, you don't. I'm going over here. And so they're like, they're going back and forth, and it's cool. That,
and it creates this dramatic irony where we can see both sides of the story play out in front of our face. No delay, no nothing else. They don't have to coordinate hey, what's your stream key or whatever, and send me this. And, it's just,
that's great.
Works.
It's pretty cool. And it was different because I saw an ad for it on Xbox. It was just like, hey, check out co-streaming on Mixer. And I'm like...
Oh, they slapped that right into the forefront. When you go and select someone's name...
I guess.
When you select someone's name anymore, it's like invite to party, invite to game, invite to co-stream.
Yeah. But what was really cool is you just press it and there's... I don't think there...
That's great.
I don't think there was any ad. I don't think there was anything that was super, delaying me to see what I want to see. It was just two people streaming. And, they had...
It's just that's cool.
And it's cool.
You pay for gold, so that could be a factor in it as well.
It's true. We do pay for gold.
I don't know what I'd have to look more into the details of Mixer.
But I'm just saying that's
been a hot news story, really.
But I'm saying that's cool. That's a cool idea.
That is a great idea. That's really cool.
It's really like you said, two sides of the story. Like, say what could we use for example? Say we're somehow by some miracle we end up on opposite teams on Overwatch.
Oh, I don't think that's possible.
Okay, well, say you're playing a Halo game.
I've done it.
There you go. But say
if we were grouped up.
Saying you're playing competitive Halo, one guy's on one team on his team.
That happened in Rainbow, though. I do remember that when we were grouped up. We ended up on opposite teams. Please finish your thought. I'm so sorry.
No, you're completely right. Just it could change streaming how we see things. Like how when you're streaming Twitch and those pro events, you only see one guy. You're only watching one guy play Halo, and you get the outer map and you see all these other people playing.
Yep.
With this, it changes everything. You could get both of their faces, two different guys on opposite teams, 1v1ing each other.
And they're reaching across the aisle, too. You know what I mean? You've got Team Instinct versus,
Cloud9.
Team Bossman or whatever, Cloud9, all these big names in gaming, and you can see both, players'
and you
perspective.
see both of them, and
side by side.
Yeah, and then you also...
Online, not even at a big event where they have a mixer board, you know what I mean? And someone using a digital switcher.
It could change League of Legends. It could change everything when you get in two people's faces. You want to see that. People want to see the intensity and how concentrated they are, and then they want to see both movements going at each other. That's something people want to. It's like watching a chess game as third person. You're watching.
This just became the 5 major news stories. You know what I mean? No, Mixer. It is. It could be.
That's
and
cool,
at least
though.
the idea of co-streaming and the idea of these other things.
Well, getting back to music. Good job, Jay-Z.
Cool.
Even though I don't really like his music.
Congrats to it. Got a million.
Stop.
A million.
Go to the next topic. I'm already done with this now.
And so we're back to Netflix and Hulu now. So we got into this with Facebook a little bit. Glow, I'm a huge fan. I don't know if you've watched it yet, Andy.
No.
Saw a trailer, didn't watch it yet.
It is tailor-made for Luke. It's a show about pro wrestling that is insider industry, in Hollywood in the 80s.
Yeah.
And just
women wrestlers. Women wrestlers.
Ladies, no. Girl power film. Really, really, really great. And they just negotiated this big deal, one of the big unions that represents a lot of these actors for not just Glow. I brought it up because it's the most recent one I've just watched.
Okay.
Are getting paid more. So this is They're now getting guaranteed paid for like their first run within 90 days versus a year. They're getting international revenue streams, which they never got, before. This is a brand new thing. And there's a full list like on these negotiation deals that was put out. But those are like the two big ways that their revenue is going to be increased in a really meaningful way.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So
because that is becoming not only like a legitimate form of entertainment, it's becoming a more legitimate form of entertainment than regular television is.
Yeah.
Like
in a big way.
In a huge way.
And I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately. I just finished F is for Family season 2.
Nice.
Hilarious. You need to watch it. Nice. It is so funny.
Nice.
But what I've noticed with my girlfriend, we watched like some Netflix exclusives, anime, sorry.
Yeah. Anime, I think is the
anime.
But we've noticed that when they first came out, they were just subbed. There were no dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
Within the past year, they've dubbed all of their Netflix exclusives.
Yeah.
And they've used only the same actors. So I'm saying that they've used the same voice actors, I should say, for the
same voice actors.
Yeah. So you gotta think.
Dubs?
No. I'm saying the constant like switching of so say like Seven Deadly Sins has the same
voice
like
actors as Another show.
Yeah. All the Netflix exclusives are using the same talent.
That's like Will Arnett is like the streaming
so is Adam
streaming
Sandler,
god.
Right. So is Adam Sandler.
He's all over Hulu and Netflix original. He's in BoJack Horseman. He's
got that new
Flaked.
show out.
He's in Arrested Development.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself. But I'm saying like it's really cool.
He's in the Nut Job 2. Mainstream media there. That's not.
But you gotta think maybe these actors were really like before this deal came about. These voice actors were sought out by them.
Job 2? I gotta Google that. Go on.
Well, they were sought out because they're probably just really good, and so now that they're sought out, maybe this will get them into another Netflix exclusive anime series, something like that. Maybe they're getting paid more. Can you please stop? What are you
doing? He is in the Nut Job 2, and the tagline for it.
Okay. Oh no!
What is it?
Nutty by nature. August 11th. Be sure to watch our midnight stream of our.
Nope. We're not doing that.
Please. No. But yeah, go on with what you're saying.
I mean, it's just good to see that. Well, hopefully they don't have to do a bunch of animes just to make the cut.
Yeah, well, and not only will the actors that are out there doing amazing work be better compensated for this work that is reaching this huge audience and generating huge revenue for these companies, Adam Sandler included. But this is going to be something that other actors, major actors that might have said no to a streaming service.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'm above. It's like in the old days, I'm not a TV actor.
Yeah.
I'm in films,
Right, but that's
we're breaking down those barriers.
Yeah, that has already been happening, but this is going to help it even more because we already have like Kevin Spacey and like we've got like what's his name?
All those comedians.
Will Arnett.
Wet Hot. Well, you gotta think Wet Hot American Summer. How many comedians are in that?
Like True Detective with
well, that was a passion project.
with what's his name? Woody Harrelson and what's his name?
So we've got big names, but this could be for people who might have said no before.
Yeah.
A breaking down of it, like, hey, this is a legitimate art form.
Yeah.
These people are going to be paid appropriately.
Yeah.
So it legitimizes it. It brings other people in that might have said no in the past.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like.
Johnny Depp's not in a Netflix original series. You know what I mean?
Not? That's why not though.
Well, maybe now.
Johnny Depp, I feel like
Pirates of the Caribbean 7, exclusively on Netflix in 2018.
Oh, here we go.
But what I was going to ask: are they considering films from Netflix and stuff in like the Academy yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They've done that. I feel like I'm behind the boat on that one.
And
well, and this is so we got to talk about this from the consumer standpoint. It could potentially lead to price increases for us,
for streaming services. Yeah.
So if they're getting away with paying them a certain wage right now,
they're gonna have to obviously increase their profits.
They're not anymore. So they have to increase that profit, and they have to be able to afford to create these. So either there's going to be less original content, or the price is going to go up, or they're taking less profit. You know what I mean? And with a lot of the holding companies, at least for like Hulu, are like publicly traded companies. So a lot of these big streaming services, like that's going to be something where they have a obligation to their investors to be as profitable as possible.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like if this is happening a lot, I think like if like Netflix or Hulu or like these different companies or like HBO even like was doing this where they weren't paying people as much as they could have, I feel like they wouldn't have been getting the talent that they have been getting, you know, because like they've got great talent as it is right now. Like,
and I don't think, to clarify, I don't think that,
you know, the like,
I don't think that they were scamming.
Was it only
all these artists in the past?
Was it only Netflix? So
they're just being better compensated for the amount of revenue that this stuff is bringing in, and in a more reasonable time frame. 90 days versus
they
a year.
are like they were being categorized as a different sort of thing, right? If you were making a film in normal film standards, like there's a whole situation of like specific rules that you have to follow to do that, right? And then, but if you're making a film for Netflix,
as long as you're part of the guild, you're part of the union,
you're part of like the Screen Actors Guild, or something. And so there's a different sort of set of rules now specifically for streaming people, right? For people who are doing streaming media.
Well, there has been, It doesn't fit the same book, and I mean to some extent. You know, if you're part of one of these guilds or one of these unions, well, the streaming service still has to abide by those rules. So you're like your Stranger Things. What's her name? Help
Winona
me.
Ryder.
Winona Ryder most certainly is a member of the, and Allison Brie, like they're most certainly members of these guilds, of these unions. Right. So they were still getting that, but just when it comes to like payment for working on these type of things. They didn't necessarily have to
pay them in the first 90 days. They could pay them after a year, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So is this only coming out? Netflix?
At least for those particular
Hulu,
actors. I feel like
any major streaming service. Amazon.
So you got to think, how much is Hulu losing though? Because Hulu was kind of struggling there for a minute.
I feel like Hulu might be one of the ones that might need to raise their prices if this happens.
But you got to think about this. They already have 2 tiers.
But I'm paying $8 or $10. I'm paying $10 and I watch ads. $9. Yeah, and I watch ads.
pay $13.
Exactly.
And I don't watch ads.
Okay, so that's the difference.
So there is that $4 difference. I mean, I don't know how many users they have that pay for ads.
And that's the difference. I feel like that, like they do provide a different sort of service than other streaming services do, because they show television shows that are currently showing right now, and they have a lot of those shows that they keep up to date with.
They've lost contracts though,
and that's the thing that's happening now. You know, like that used to be their thing.
But there's and this came at a perfect time. Hulu is talking about making their own TV service.
Netflix
is YouTube.
YouTube is already
doing
that.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So everyone's talking about
YouTube
it.
has their
own. I'm about
to
drop a bombshell, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So within the next 3 years, so let's say 2020, we're going to have Netflix Red, where if you pay $10 a month, you have $8 a month.
It's gonna be called Flick.
You have access to just regular old, old TV. You can watch Cake Boss. You can watch all this other stuff. Yeah. But if you want my Netflix original series, you got to have Netflix Red. And that's $20 a month, or that's $15 a month, whatever it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or from FX to FXX. So you can get FX. You can watch the crap no one cares about. But if you want to watch Always Sunny, the only big properties that we have, you got to get FXX. Yeah. The next level.
I don't know. I think Netflix is becoming the new Time Warner, like the new company that is giving you the television that you want to watch. You know.
Well, they're syndicating content. They're not necessarily. They have a certain amount of control over these properties that they're having created.
Yes. But what I'm saying is it's going to get to the point, if it hasn't already been to that point, where if you are not offering your TV shows on streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and those sorts of things, people just aren't going to watch it, and it's getting to the point where more and more people are getting rid of their television contracts, and they're doing Sling TV. I mean, they're doing even this YouTube thing is the YouTube where you actually have to you pay money for getting all access to all these streaming channels is still kind of expensive. It's not cheap, you're still paying almost what you would pay an actual service provider to see these television shows. You just want to see it in a more convenient way where you can watch it on YouTube.
You gotta do
Sling is more organized interface. Yeah. Oh my God.
Exactly.
I have been harping, and this is something we talked about in the podcast multiple times before. The interface is so broken for TV, and this is where
they just don't get good
Hasbro, you got me figured out. I don't have it. You got to give me a fidget spinner if you want me to flip through 300 channels to find what I'm actually looking for, and 100 of them are dead. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I cannot. And
that's the crazy thing about Sling TV. You pick and choose what channel you want to watch, or want on your package.
Right. And that's interesting. But that's the thing. That's the reason why most service providers don't offer services like that, is because television channels want to be offered in packages. They want you to have this channel because why would you have this channel without by itself? Yeah. Nobody would order this channel.
And look at how many different channels are owned by a single entity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Disney Corporation owns so many.
But here's the thing: that is not the future. They need to get off that stuff, because it is nobody is going to give a crap anymore. People are not going to pay for that.
No one's just going to move into a new house and be like, oh yeah, I need cable TV.
Yeah.
It's like
we're getting people our age. It's getting to the point where people are not caring about that anymore. And some people still have it, but I'm telling you, the numbers have been.
It might be.
But we need to. I mean, streaming just isn't there. It doesn't offer that constant live. Yeah. It doesn't offer that. Yeah. Like that I can just turn on my TV and I don't have to tell it, what to do. It just is doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just happening.
Sure, the convenience part. That is something.
Yeah. That is something for sure. And I think that Netflix could
that's a big thing for Discovery too. We're not to that point where there's a microchip in my brain that says, "Oh, dude, you're gonna want that." I'll start playing it right away. Yeah. It's gonna be a while.
Okay, here's an idea. What if Netflix came up with a streaming television channel sort of thing that you could choose on their website? Like you go into the Netflix app, you play that thing, and it's curated content for you. Something that you they see the kind of things that you like, the kind of things that you upvote on their website, the kind of things that you downvote, because they changed it from stars. It's not stars anymore. It's upvotes and downvotes now. Yeah. And they're like, you like this stuff,
too complicated.
Like this stuff. Here's more stuff that you might like. You can just put a constant streaming, and it just automatically picks the next thing to throw up on there. And
Hulu needs to do that first. I think that's the next step for Hulu, especially because their new interface
for anyone.
Their new interface is gorgeous.
Yeah,
and it's terrible. It is so hard
I agree.
to watch my stories anymore. Yeah. I have no idea if there's a new episode. I have to click so many more times. Yeah. I have to go through so much more, and it's just like. There used to be, Netflix was always even kind of quirky about it. Oddly specific.
Yeah.
To the point of, how are they coming up with these genres?
If you still go up into the Netflix, on the Netflix browser on PCs, it has, if say something's in your list, or something is kind of that you like, it shows, oh, this is a new season of this just popped up, or you might like this show, just a new season of it just came out, or this new show just came on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Hey, Netflix, how about if I watch something in my list, you remove it from my list? That'd be a good idea. You could do that.
Yeah. It's done.
Because that would be great.
I actually
want it on my list.
I actually disagree with you. I like it on my list because
but don't have it at the top. Have it at the bottom of my list.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Put it at the bottom.
I've already watched it, though. It's right there in the beginning
gray it
of
out.
my list.
Just gray it out. Quest complete.
I've watched it.
Check mark. You know what I mean? Gold star.
It'll show up in both the beginning of my list and the watch it again section, because I just watched it.
We're ready for Netflix Social. Achievement unlocked. Series complete. You know what I mean? Yeah. You actually have to. It glitches out and it doesn't realize that you have to put it on in the background while you're doing something else to get credit for watching a series or something. Oh my god! I'm ready for that.
Yeah. You have to use those credits to buy Netflix original series.
So there you go.
Oh, no.
It's just like Twitch. You got to get your bits, baby. Give me my bits.
Stop.
That's the next level.
No. Can't see Stranger Things season 2 unless you've watched this 6 times.
I love getting into deep dives like this. This is college discussion about where the industry is at. Maybe not
the future.
Yeah. And join the discussion in the comments and so on and so forth. Yeah, this is definitely food for thought.
Would you pay for Facebook Blue?
Yeah.
Or Netflix
Would you pay for
Red?
Netflix Red?
Yeah.
If it was such a thing,
would you
had
Hulu
to
Green?
pay.
Hulu Green.
Hulu Leaf Green.
Oh yeah,
Hulu Leaf Green. Yes.
And Fire Red for Netflix.
Yeah, Fire Red.
It can't be just Netflix Red.
Yeah.
Because there's already RedTube, obviously.
Yeah. RedTube.
Right. So last on my list here, and this is our final bullet point for major news stories this week that have cemented streaming, and we are in it, baby. So Assassin's Creed is getting an anime series.
Anime, actually.
Yeah. This is the same director that did the Castlevania series, which releases today, if you're watching the podcast, as it comes out, as you should. Or not, however you feel. Asynchronous media, baby. So it is getting their an anime. So someone saw Castlevania already, and they liked what they saw. Ubisoft, and this was like a blog post directly from him. I assume Ubisoft was like, yeah, dude, let people know. Where he was like, I moved out to Hollywood to like follow my dream a year ago. Never would have imagined like, Ubisoft would tell me to make something, because Assassin's Creed is a game that I played like when I first moved out here. No platform is announced like for what it's going to be on yet, at least that I've seen when we're recording this podcast. Possibly by the time
I'd assume Netflix.
This podcast is up.
Right.
Castlevania is Netflix.
Yeah.
But at least he didn't say that in there. But he did say, in quotes here, that it will be an original story.
Okay.
Because it was like a thank you to Ubisoft. I never imagined I would be creating an original story for Assassin's Creed.
Right.
It's exclusive.
In the future. This is a game that like I was a fan of and played years ago.
And I think, is this the step into them making more gaming stuff with?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if Castlevania is critically reviewed well, and people like it, which it seems like from the trailer that we saw.
People like Voltron.
There are so many video games that have really interesting stories that people just have not taken advantage of because of that crazy stigma of like video games
are art.
Yeah, or that. Not
it's
even
violence.
That. It's video game movies suck. Or video game TV shows terrible. Like
or movie like video games suck.
Yes, yeah.
Except Rio.
Yeah,
Rio is an excellent game with colorful birds. Yeah. Definitely pick it up, buy low, because that thing's gonna blow up when it hits backwards compatibility on 360. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
I thought the B game was pretty good.
The B movie, the game. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Very well received.
Excellent game.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's chubby little gameplay mechanics should not be able to fly. But the game, of course, flies anyway, off of shelves, and into your home and your hearts.
Because game companies don't care what humans think is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, is this a new step forward?
Because Netflix doesn't care what humans think is impossible. The show, of course, streams anyway. Assassin's Creed. You got your tagline, baby. Just credit to the SuperGen. No endorsement, no money, no monetary. We would not dream of accepting anything like that.
We wouldn't dream of it, but we might do it.
Yeah.
But
if you did.
Yeah, I don't care what people think is impossible.
I don't care. Alex Nassau, 2017.
I don't care what people think is impossible.
What words to live by. Yeah. Man, what an inspirational film.
Yeah. It really is.
Stop.
But Castlevania, this I don't know about you guys, has gotten me more excited to watch Castlevania, more so than I already was.
Yeah, I'm really excited to check it out.
Yeah, I was excited. Okay, well, this seems like it could be good.
If they think it was
looks
good enough
really
to
artistic.
give him more work, and they're like, man, this is great.
They're just like, it's not even out yet. You haven't even, as far as I know, the embargo isn't even up yet to where we can read reviews about it as of the recording of this podcast.
Have you guys seen the Assassin's Creed movie?
I don't want to watch it because it's probably terrible.
I've heard so many mixed things about it. Like, it's just like, it just doesn't. Oh, man. I was so excited about it, man. Michael Fassbender's in it. He's great. He's great in things.
Yeah. You know. Will Arnett's in it too, I think.
Yeah. Wait, is your?
I gotta Google it. I don't think he actually.
He's not.
No, I was joking when I said that, but now that I think about it, was Will Arnett in Assassin's Creed? What else is he in that I'm not sure of? He was a voice actor.
Wow.
But in any case,
the voice of Navi, the fairy that follows you around in Assassin's Creed, famously.
Oh man. Just the fact that they are already betting on this guy for an entire another series. And Assassin's Creed Origins is like the first Assassin's Creed game that it looks like cares about story and that I'm excited about in some time.
Since like Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed 1 was the last time they cared about story.
Assassin's Creed 2 was pretty. I think that was the best one.
It was like it was
excellent.
Oh, and this is a nice little segue. I didn't even necessarily want to talk about this, but I started playing the Zelda DLC because it's out. You know, I paid the $20. I gotta get my money's worth. It's like when you pay for like this plate of food and it's a bigger portion than you expected. It's like, well, you gotta finish your supper. They're starving kids in Africa, son. You know what I mean? Like you gotta